Hello, Dimitris.
Hello, Thodoris.
How are you tonight?
I'm great. I'm great. How are you?
Fine, fine, fine.
Okay, so we are in the air tonight, a musical broadcast about rock and metal genre and all its subgenres, of course,
Correct.
with
This is
Thodoris, with
so, yeah,
Thodoris,
and Dimitris.
and tonight with us for second time from Star One, Ayreon, Guildmasin, and many, many, many more, Mr.
Arjen.
Lucassen. Tonight with us, Mr. Arjen Anthony Lucassen himself. Thank you, Arjen.
Hi guys,
Hello.
my pleasure. Always my pleasure.
Good to
Good
have
Thank
to
you
be
so
here again.
thank you. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight.
Of course, of course.
it's,
And sorry, Dimitris, sorry.
it's always a pleasure to talk with.
It's
Always, always.
always fun.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Always, always. And the good thing is that you are on one of the most easygoing musicians. So this is
Really?
why it's yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
Okay, okay.
yeah, yeah.
Well, band members won't agree with you.
No, we
No,
read all the
like this
comments.
Arjen, that's one difficult dude, man. Don't
We've
ever
talked,
work with him.
we
Okay.
talked, so Thodoris,
Yeah,
we've
yeah.
talked with many of your colleagues.
Yeah.
Everybody has the best to say.
Okay, okay, okay.
Just, Cami, Jeff,
Oh,
uh,
great, great.
Mr. Steve Hackett.
Oh, cool,
Yes, yes.
We've talked with many with of
cool,
your
cool.
colleagues. So
But
everybody has to say the best things for you.
that's good. But that's from the last 25 years, you know. They only see me like one day. But if you're in the band with me, you know, if you
So
talk to my ex-band members, watch out.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay,
Challenge
okay.
accepted.
That's probably
Yes,
why
yes.
I'm not in the band anymore, you know. I won't do that to anyone.
Okay,
Okay,
okay.
okay. So
So,
many congratulations, Thodoris. Many
mhm,
congratulations for the new album. It's
from
Thank you
both
amazing.
of
very
us.
much.
It's
Did you
amazing.
guys hear it?
Yes,
Yeah,
of
yeah,
course,
yeah.
of course.
Many
Okay,
times.
cool.
Of course. Reveling Time, Star One, and that's why we are here tonight.
And
Exactly.
and Revel in Time is the first Star One album with many singers. How do you
Right.
think that the fans will react on that?
The more the better. You know, maybe in the beginning they will be like, yeah, but you know, Star One is just Russell Allen and Damien Wilson and Joy Janssen and Dan Swano. It shouldn't be more. But you know, I think once they hear the album and they hear Jeff Scott Soto and they hear Jolene Turner and they hear Brandon Yeakley and
And you
Ross
too.
Jennings and Mike,
Yes. And you too.
I'm
No, no, no,
unimportant.
no, no, no. Let me tell you that I enjoyed so much your performance on the vocals.
Oh, thank you very
Yes,
much. Thank
yes,
you very
yes.
much.
You're
Yeah.
getting better and better. You're getting better and better.
Yeah.
Well, the studio tricks are getting better and better.
Ah,
Okay.
okay.
I'm getting better equipment and better tuners, and you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what do you think about the fans? After Transitus, everything was a little bit blurry in
Hmm.
Ayreon's world
Yeah.
because you messed up with many things, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you had the courage to say, stop Ayreon and
Yeah.
re-begin Star One.
That's it. That's it.
What did you think back then, and what do you think now about the fans? Because I know that you have a lot to say about your fans.
I'm truly grateful that they're honest to me. You know, I like it, of course, when they tell me they love my music. You know, but I really appreciate it when they tell me like, "Hey, your last album, you know, it wasn't as good, or we didn't get it, or we don't like this, or we don't. There's too much narration, or you know, there's no lyrics in the booklet, or whatever." I love it when people are honest to me. You know, I hate it when shit happens behind your back. You know, or if you're like reading something and they don't. But if they tell me in person, you know, that's the best fans, I think. You know,
Mhm.
that are honest to me. So yeah, and when they tell me now that they didn't like Transitos that much or there was something wrong, for me that means that you know the 25 years before that they told me they like my music, that they were serious about that. So
I must be a member in every group of Ayreon, in
Oh, cool.
Facebook, in everywhere in social media.
Okay,
So
great.
I must admit that there is an honesty everywhere.
There is honesty and there's no aggression. And, you know, back in the 80s, I've been in several bands and there was a lot of aggression, and there was a lot of negativity. And when I stopped that, I never wanted it anymore. I still remember doing that first Star One tour. And I told everyone, hey, man, guys, this is my tour. I'm the boss. There's going to be no fighting. There's going to be no alcohol, alcohol abuse. There's
Yes.
going to be no drugs. There's going to be just positivity.
Well,
'Cause it's
rock,
my tour.
rock and roll free tour.
Sorry.
Rock and roll free tour.
That's it. I'm not rock and roll at all. I just tell everyone I'm a boring nerd, man. I'm a total recluse, and I don't drink, and I don't do drugs, I'm a really boring nerd. So yeah, touring with me is a very boring thing.
Okay. Will you continue having the same formula of many singers in the next Star One albums?
Good question. Good question. I think so. I think I really enjoyed this. I enjoyed the first two albums with our four friends, but I must say I really liked. These were such nice guys. Each and every one. Well, you interviewed them. A lot of them. They're such nice guys, and it's such an honor to work with people. To work with my heroes like Jolene Turner or Steve Vai or Tony Martin. It's brilliant, and I think most of all the result is that I have like a very versatile album, which means that every song is different from the other song, and I think having different singers only helps that to make a very versatile album. So now I would say yes, I like it this way, but who knows? Maybe in 10 years. In 10 years I'll be 72. God damn.
Oh,
Great age for prog rock.
Yeah, for prog rock, but maybe not for metal.
So,
okay.
so we've talked with Just a couple months ago.
Cool.
Yes, and he announced us about his collaboration with you back then.
Mm-hmm.
And we've talked about remote recording. Because
Yes.
he has done that thing for the first time with Epica.
I know he recorded Simone from a
Yes,
distance.
yes.
Yeah.
It was an amazing procedure.
Yeah.
And we know that you prefer to travel your singers in your
Yes.
studio.
Yeah.
What about that now that you couldn't do it?
Good question. Firstly, I recorded Damien that way. I recorded Damien with cameras and shit like that, so I could help him, and we could work together. So it's different, it's different, but it kind of worked. So, but I wouldn't, I would rather have them next to me in my studio. But yeah, because I couldn't do it this time, I had to make the guide vocals. Like the guide vocals are the vocals that go to the singer, so he knows what to sing and he knows the melody and the lyrics.
Mike Mills is your basic guide vocal guy.
It was
Not
on
in this album.
on the previous album, but
Yeah,
not on this album. On this album, it was JC. I had to make because Mike is not a metal singer, I mean, he can do everything, but he doesn't have like a raw metal voice. So I needed like a really powerful metal voice. And JC did such a great job on the live shows, replacing Russell. And Marcela can do everything. I worked with her for so long, so she could do the guide vocals for the women. So these guide vocals go to the real singers. So all I could do was like make these guide vocals like really, really, really good, really high level, that the singers would get it. and they would be like, "Oh shit, I have to do something better now." I mean, I think Jeff said something like, "Hey man, what do you need me for? This guy is amazing." So yeah, that's how I solved it this time.
Okay. Now that you've mentioned Jeff, sorry, Thodoris, but because
No, no, no. Okay.
Arjen has mentioned Jeff Scott Soto. Oh, please, no. Skype COVID. So,
Yeah. Skype.
you've talked about Jeff Scott Soto.
Yeah.
We must admit that our show has something to do with
Oh
that
yes.
innovation, and we are very happy on that.
Oh yes. Yeah. I mean, I think he said on your show, like what took him so long, and if he asks me, I'll be there. And I saw that, and thanks again for that. And I contacted him like the same moment, and he was like the same thing to me. What took you so long? Of course I'll do it. No problem at all. So and well, you heard the result now.
Yes, yes.
You know,
And
uh,
it's a great song. It's a great song
it's a great
with
song.
his partner, is Sons of Apollo,
True.
Ron.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great song, a great song.
Yeah.
Thodoris?
Cool.
Okay, so what fans should expect from your new effort?
They should expect a combination between the first two Star One albums. Like I think the first Star One album, Space Metal, was a very catchy album, but not really heavy. I think the second Star One album, Victims of the Modern Age, was a very, very dark album, but it did not really have catchy songs. So on this album, I wanted to combine these two. I wanted to make heavy songs like Fate of Man or like 28 Days with catchy choruses. And yeah, I hope I succeeded.
For us, we think yes. So
Okay, that's good.
yes.
So let's talk about the artwork. The artwork is from the same, of course, from the same guy that has to do with Ayreon ones.
Right, yes.
How,
Jeff
ab-
Bertels.
how about that decision? I know that you're trying very hard to create a different context from Ayreon to Star One. What about that decision for the artwork in that difference that you want to make?
Well, the thing is, I've got no rules. I am, like I said, I'm the boss now, and I will do whatever I feel like. And I haven't used Chef in a while. He didn't do Transitors, he didn't do the Source. So yeah, I haven't worked with him in a long time. Basically, I had no more room in my house for his painting. Really. But now I live in a big house, and I have room for his paintings again. But seriously, I had a clear vision in my mind. I wanted like this huge hall with lots of little clocks and like one big central clock, and on the sides I wanted these landscapes, and there was only one guy who could do it. And I already expected fans to say, but yeah, he is Ayreon. But there's no rules. I think this Star One album has the quality that deserves a Jeff Bertels. So yeah, here it is.
It's amazing. It's
It's
amazing.
like it's huge. You know how big I am, so
Oh,
and
So-
it's like a real oil painting.
Yes.
So I'm totally proud. It took him a half a year to
Wow.
paint it, and he sent me like little updates every few weeks, and I would say like, can you change this? Can you change that? But yeah, totally happy with it. Find a nice place in the house for it.
do you think that your new album can be a classic after, within the next few years?
Only time will tell. I never know when I'm working on albums. I think like this is going to be a classic, But
What is the feeling you have? You,
Your personal feeling.
Yeah,
the
your personal
feeling I have is that when I made Transitos, I had a hard time finding a single. The record company said we want at least 2 singles, and I was like, I can't find one single on the album. And I think the same was with Victims of the Modern Age. It was like one total, but it didn't have any standout tracks. And for this album, I really had too many options. Every song this should be the single. No, Fate of Man should be the single. No, 28 Days should be the single. No, President. No, Back from the Past. I wanted every song to be a single.
And the B-side.
But you can't do that. The record company wanted just two. Then I said 3, 4. No, I want 5. But more than 5 is silly. Then people have heard the whole album. And of course, making clips is very expensive, so we couldn't do that. But I think, that there are plenty of standout tracks on this album that, if we ever play live, I think people would want to hear Fate of Man, or people would want to hear Lost Children of the Universe. I think the feeling now I have is that they will be classic songs. But yeah.
Of course. So we can say that starone is a movie concept project.
Yes.
As we've noticed before, and from Reveling Time, of course.
Yeah.
You've already announced that Reveling Time is about time traveling.
Yes.
So, what's your favorite movie of time traveling? I know that it's very difficult.
Yeah.
And let's talk about the main concept of time traveling in your album, in Reveling Time.
Well, I think the favorite song, the favorite movie that I base songs on this album would be Donnie Darko. Because I rewatched all these movies, when I wrote lyrics for it. And some of them didn't really stand the test of time, like The Final Countdown.
Yeah.
Not the Europe song, but the movie. It didn't really stand the test of time, It looked like one big ad for the Royal Navy or something. And and other songs like other movies like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. It's very funny, but to watch it for like a third time, it's like it aged. I mean, the quotes are timeless, like excellent and bodacious and all these words. But when I saw Donnie Darko, I was really enjoying it. It's like a very dark movie. It's a very cryptic movie. I like Jake Gyllenhaal, the actor. I mean, he's even there's even 2 movies of him, also Source Code on this album. So yeah, I would say, but all time. I mean, Back to the Future is all time classic. Watching that again is like, yeah, it stood the test of time. It's still extremely funny, and same goes for Groundhog Day. Those are timeless movies.
Have you watched the new Bill and Ted's movie, the new a couple of years ago?
I watched the new one. I couldn't get through. Sorry.
Yeah. It was very difficult. I know.
Yeah. I maybe I gave up too early. I was watching for 5 minutes and I was like, nah, I don't know.
Give it a chance. Give it a chance.
Maybe I should. Maybe I should. Yes.
As Matrix 4, that it was very difficult.
I know. All those sequels, I've kind of given up on sequels. I mean, of course, I remember in the old days, I loved Jaws, then hey, there's another Jaws movie, and you watch it, and it's like, oh. So
it wouldn't be another Jaws movie.
It's rarely that a sequel is even close to the original. That's why I rarely make sequels myself. Just before I had an interview of someone who said, I really liked Theory of Everything, the Ayreon album. Will you do a sequel? And it was like, no. It's good the way it is, and the sequel would not be as good. So,
how was the process of creation of Revel In Time?
Much easier than Ayreon. Ayreon is many layers, and it's many dialogues, a lot of dialogue singing, and you have to keep the whole story in mind. And there's a lot of classical instruments, violins, flutes, cellos, and shit. And starone is, I grab my guitar, I plug it in, and I come up with some riffs with which I've done all through my youth. All the bands I've been in the 70s, 80s, and 90s were like riff-oriented bands. And it comes really easy, the riff comes, and then the riff automatically leads to the chorus. And where Transitors took me 3 years, this was done in 3 months, basically, the whole writing process.
Really?
Yeah.
I've watched Hemispheres and Led Zeppelin back in your
Yeah, and Alice Cooper and Camel.
and I've remembered a guy in your guessing games that he was always guessing.
Geddy Lee.
Geddy Lee, Geddy Lee.
Yeah, I know.
He's Geddy Lee.
And I wish I could surprise him by showing Geddy Lee, you know, but unfortunately, I how do you get through to a guy like that? You know, it's very
He's a
hard.
legend. He's not a super.
He's a total legend. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
And Mr. Plant, he has gone to a different path now.
Same thing. He's doing country stuff, you know, and that's his roots, and he's very good at it. You know, that's what he should do. And yeah, Alice Cooper, the same thing. You know, I contacted him again for this album, and basically you don't get to talk to him. Of course, you get to talk to a manager. His manager said he only guests on friends' albums. So you know, if Johnny Depp needs him, he'll be there. But if Arjen Lucassen needs him, he'll be like, who?
Okay, let me have a risk on the next question, because I would love to see a crossover between Avantasia and Star One and Ayreon, because I think they are three different universes.
Yes.
I don't know if you have a good relation with Tobias.
I hate the bastard.
Why?
That was the risk of the question.
No, it was very cool. He of course I knew about Avantasia, and I heard that he had Alice Cooper, and I was really sad.
I think, something like that.
It was really sad, but it was very cool. At some point, I got an email from him out of the blue. He said, "Hi, I'm Tobias. I'm from the Avantasia, and I love your music. But sorry, I said something bad about you in an interview. I was just sick of the questions, and I answered something like, Ayreon, this and that. So if you ever read it, I didn't mean it. Sorry about it."
Nice from him.
I like that, you know. I like someone who is honest, and then I started joking to him, well, I hate you too, you know, you're shitty Avantasia, and then we just started joking, and still now, you know, we email each other all the time, like, hey, how did you get to Jolene Turner? And hey, I wanted Glenn Hughes, and do you know how to get Alice Cooper? And we share stories, you know, and we help each other to get musicians.
So let's go from mutual bullying to mutual music.
I don't think I can cooperate very well, you know, with whoever. I mean, I'm so glad again, you know, I'm my own boss, you know, since I started Ayreon, and cooperating with someone is not my strong point.
I totally get that. I totally get that. Floris?
Yeah, what was the connection progress with Steve Vai and Jolie Turner? Was it easy for you to persuade them for the album?
Steve Vai, I've been trying for years. You know, he's my favorite guitar player of all time, together with Blackmore and Gilmore. And so far, he always said no. You know, I don't know why, but this time I had this 3-minute part, you know, that was just perfect, and I felt he can totally do whatever he wants. Beautiful melodies, beautiful harmonies, and I sent it to him, and I got an answer, and he said, "Where does the solo go?" I said, "Well, all of it. It's 3 minutes long." And he said something like, "Let me think about it." And a few months later, I got an email from Steve Vai saying, "Ta-da!" It was the subject. And he sent me this solo, man, and I was like, holy shit, he did it, you know. He did a 3-minute solo for me, and it's brilliant. It's perfect. It's got a beautiful build-up, and it was just perfect, you know. So finally, after all those years, I managed to get in. Jolene Turner is a little bit of the same. I asked him for Victims of the Modern Age, but at that time he was touring, I think in Brazil or something, so he couldn't do it. So I contacted him this time. I said, well, you know, this time, do you have time? And he said, let's call. And the phone went, and it's Jolene Turner, and yeah, I grew up listening to the guy, with Rainbow and Spotlight Kid and Deep Purple. So yeah, I was, and we had so much fun on the phone. He's such a nice guy. I don't know if you ever interviewed him.
No,
Okay.
unfortunately.
He's totally, again, he's an honest guy. He's got his opinion, you have to be ready for that. But that's what I enjoy, someone speaking his mind. And he's 70 now. And I was like, can he still do this, because it's some high shit in that song.
Surely
And
that's
he had no problems at all, he called me from the studio, and he was like standing by the speaker, and then, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? And I was like, yes.
okay. Let's go back to the time traveling concept.
Yes.
Let's play a game. If you'd had to choose 3 dates from your personal life or from universal history,
Yeah.
what dates would you choose, and what would you do back then?
Can it be a silly answer?
Of course, we love silly answers.
I'll go. If I go to the future, I'll go to like 1 week into the future, and get the lotto number, and go back and win a couple of millions.
Okay.
If I would go back in time, it's all about money. Sorry.
Okay.
I would seriously invest in Tesla stock.
Tesla, the band.
not the band. No.
Okay.
Not the band.
Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah, I got the car in my garage, so.
Okay.
But yeah, seriously, I got this question too. Like, if you would get the DeLorean and you could go somewhere, where would you go? And I'm happy in this time, I said I would just take it around the block, and come home. I'm such a recluse, I don't want to go anywhere.
That's something very interesting, because you are truly an escapist.
Yeah.
Yes.
Totally. It's also in my music, I want to offer people escapism. I don't want to confront them with what's happening, and there's enough shit happening in the world. So yeah, I travel to different places, and that's why time travel is such a great concept for me. I just had to go back to my DVD collection there, and pick out all these movies about time, and there was like 40, so it was a totally luxury to pick the best ones.
Maybe Corona is something that your heroes from The Source and 01 have brought here.
It's all a secret plan, man. It's all Michael Mills, it's all TH1.
I'm afraid of people that could sing so high.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it was funny when I did the guessing games, and we had Britney Slays, who's like, who sings like really high, and everyone was guessing Mike, someone who sings high. It's Mike. Yeah.
What's your favorite Star One song according to the live performances so far?
I would say Eye of Ra. It has everything, it has the slow intro, and then it has it's had the cool part with Russell and Floor singing, the beautiful intro with Damien, and it has the ending, with the big chorus where everyone can sing along. I think that song has everything in it, so that would be my favorite song.
Okay.
Previous time that we've talked, you've said something about a movie. I don't forget that. Is there any news? Are there any news on that?
Okay, the Transitos movie.
Transitors. You were thinking about an Ayreon movie.
Yeah.
And Transitos was a good chance for that.
Yeah. Well, that was the plan, and it was all set up, and I found the director, who is my favorite Dutch director, And he does crazy stuff, you know. He does stuff that no one does. That's why I thought he was perfect. And he believed in it, and we tried to get the money together, and we tried to get the producer. And then you're talking about a couple of million, you know, because a
Yes.
movie like that, you don't make it for anything less. And we were doing well, but then of course the whole COVID thing started, and you know, it was hard to shoot, and it was hard to get people to invest money in it. So yeah, at some point I kind of lost interest. Also, I was working on the new Star One, and all my attention went on that. So it's basically on the back burner now, and could be revived any day, you know, if there's a producer who's interested.
Okay.
If you could turn back time, is there anything specific that nowadays you want to change in a previous Star One album?
Yeah, I think the first Star One album, um, I could make it sound a little bit better, but not that I did it wrong back then. But you know, technique has improved now, and also my abilities as a producer has improved. I could make the drums sound better, and maybe one day I will. You know, I will remix the album. It's definitely an option. The second Star One album. Maybe I should have. I love the sound of that one. The sound is perfect, and the guitar sound, and it's a unity. You know, it's one big dark mass. You know, maybe it should have been a bit lighter in places. Maybe a bit more catchy here and there. So yeah, I took these two issues and tried to correct them on the new Star One, basically.
And you've done it
Okay.
on Star One, of course. So
Cool.
everything has changed. Yes.
Yeah.
I know that it's too soon, but have you thought the next step? Is it an Ayreon one? Is it a Gentle Storm one? Is it a Guild Machine one? Because I know that Geoff Tate is waiting for you.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yes.
Have you any thoughts on that? Have you created a concept even in your mind?
I'm thinking about it all the time, of course, you know, because I want to be creative. I'm a recluse, you know, I don't have any social life at all. So I want to dive into the next project and create something new. But I have so many ideas, but nothing concrete, you know. I keep changing my mind. And it's like, let's do an aerial. No, it's too soon. Let's do a solo album. Yeah, but I want to work with this singer. Okay, let's do another Star One. No, you just did another Star One. Guild Machine would be hard because none of the musicians are available anymore. Gentle Storm, I listened to the album and I thought, like, I can't do a part two of that. I can't make anything better or equal than that, you know. So if I would do something with Annik, it would have to be something different. So yeah, I'm thinking all the time and writing down ideas, and in the end, it will all depend on what kind of songs I come up with, you know. Some moment I will have some songs, ideas, and I think they will guide me into what's coming next.
That's the torture of the artist, always thinking about
It is torture, you know, when I don't have a direction and when I don't have enough inspiration. It is really the downside of being an artist. So, but you know, I have to get through it. And Laurie always tells me, like, you always say that it's empty and you will never get ideas again. And then at some point, you know, ideas will come.
becomes that.
Yeah.
We would like to thank you so much for this interview. We have two last questions, one from me and one from Dimitris.
Sure.
My last question is, when you collaborate with a guitar player and a keyboard player, in Star One, of course, what are your sayings to them? Do you give them any advice? They do whatever you want? They are free in do whatever?
You mean keyboard solos?
We mean about the sound.
About
Because
the sound, yes, of a keyboard player and the guitar player.
we know that you are a sound freak.
Okay. It's funny. A good question again. Yes, I basically asked them, you know, to use analog synths because that's really my favorite sound.
Which you
I asked Jens. Jens said, I have my signature sound, you know, and I like what he does, and the way he plays fits perfectly with his sound. But for instance, Joost van den Broek, I asked him, like, I want a Hammond solo, but I want the real Hammond, you know, no fake Leslies and shit. And Alessandro Del Vecchio, who played the solo on the second CD, he first had this digital sound, and I said, no, I want the real Mini Moog. So yeah, especially with keyboards, you know, I'm pretty demanding. Guitarists, basically, a couple of the guitarists, I asked them, it's getting technical now, it's getting complicated. I asked them to send me the line signal, which means they send me the line signal and I reamp it here through my own reamps. And I have like 5 different amps and a lot of different speakers and microphones. And I just reamp the solos here. So, but with some, I didn't have to do that, you know, like with Steve Vai, he's got a beautiful sound. What he sent me was perfect. Like Michael Romeo has his own specific sound, you know, and it goes for Bumblefoot as well. So yeah, it's a combination basically.
Okay, so for our outro of the conversation, we'd love to thank you once more. You are a great guy. You are. We'd love to see you again in our show. We'd love to see you in person someday, maybe.
Yes. I think I know what the question is going to be. Yeah, go on.
No, you don't, because change it. Even Reese doesn't know, because I would love to have a dilemma game. Yes, that's difficult. You have to answer quickly in the next dilemmas.
Okay.
So, let's begin. Beatles or Stones?
Beatles.
Beatles.
That's a stupid question.
We love you. We love you. We love you. So, Led Zeppelin or Queen?
Led Zeppelin.
Oh, really?
Or early Queen.
Early Queen.
Early Queen.
The first 4 albums.
Yes.
Like Queen 1, Queen 2.
The hard ones.
Night at the Opera, Day at the Races, and maybe News of the World, you know, but definitely those 4. Yeah.
Nice. Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Trek, you know.
Star Trek. Yes,
I love treks more than wars is always my answer.
Prog rock or prog metal?
Prog rock.
Flor or Simone? No, don't answer.
No.
I was just joking.
Both of them. Hug them. I want to hug them both.
Everybody wants that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Cool. That was easy. I was afraid of it, but it was all very easy.
No. For the next interview, you have to be afraid of.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm ready for it.
So, Arjen, we are looking forward for the official release.
Cool.
We'd also love to see what fans will say about that. Because we totally love it.
Because it's a big change. It's a big change. It will be a big change for them. So
it's true, yeah. But so far the reviews are everything I read. I just put a few on Facebook, and I read the first 5 or 6, and they were all positive. So it's which wasn't the case with Transitors, you know. In the beginning already there was like but so far it's all like 9 out of 10 and 10 out of 10. So
because
so far so good.
There are a lot of vibes from the Ayreon keyboard sounding, but it's something different. It's totally different.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I have my sounds, you know. I mean, my Hammond is really a particular sound, and
Yes. So, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Have a great day ahead.
Cool.
Stay safe, of course.
I will. Yeah. I'm safe.
Thank you so much. Okay.
See you next time. Any project of yours.
Oh, parakalo. We can have an interview with him without any specific reason.
With all his colleagues.
Yes. No, all it's impossible.
With all of them.
we can have an interview with him for all his projects, and we can talk only for his projects.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
Thank you.
okay,
Bye-bye.
guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 See you. Bye-bye. It's always a pleasure to talk with Mr. Arjen Lucassen because he has too many to share with us and our viewers.
And of course, Dimitris, you will agree with me that he's one of the most easygoing musicians of the metal scene.
Of course,
And
he's an easygoing guy for us, but as he has said, not an easy guy for his guest musicians. So, Thodori, it was a great night tonight. Thank you for coming back to our show.
me
It's
too.
tonight with Thodoris.
And Dimitris.
Please don't forget to comment, to share, and to subscribe. Ring the bell, bing, 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 gling, gling. Thank you, Thodoris, for tonight. We
Me
thank
too.
Mr. Arjen Lucassen. We'll have you back with our next amazing guest very, very soon. Bye, 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 bye.
Good night. Good night.